parents, and welcome back. Many parents ask me, Michal, why it's so important for you to actually talk about sex and pornography and guide parents on having those conversations with their teens. And when I went deep with myself, it came to a place of, I just want our teens to know how to say no. I want them to know that they can choose, that they have a choice. And I want to share with you how I learned how to say no. My name is Michal Cohen from Ask Michal, where I help parents to have real conversations with their teenagers about porn and sex. If you want to gain confidence and learn what you should talk with your teenager about, then make sure you hit the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. So let's talk. As a child, I always had hearing problems. I had always had ear infections. I couldn't hear good. I consistently had issues with my ears and with my hearing. When I was 7, my parents heard from someone that maybe removing dairy off my diet could help my hearing problem. So they did that, and surprisingly, it worked. Suddenly, I heard better. I didn't have any ear infections. But then my parents took me to my doctor, and he said, don't put crazy thoughts in her mind. And I was 7. I loved dairy. And back then we lived in a close community in Israel that called a kibbutz. So everyone ate together, and dairy was a main ingredient in the menu. So I was so happy to go back and eat dairy again. And I even remember there was this my special dish of sour cream with sugar and cocoa powder. I just loved mixing it, and that was that was the only thing I really missed when I couldn't eat dairy. So I went back, and for 2 days I literally ate everything I could, including my special dish, and I was very happy. So I ate dairy, and then one of the days I went to school. I was in 2nd grade, and I remember we all sat on the floor and the teacher started talking, and I couldn't hear anything. Literally nothing. And I sat there, a 2nd grade student who cannot hear her teacher. I don't remember what happened after, what I did, who I spoke with. I probably was panicking because I just couldn't hear suddenly. You were just a child. I do remember that I went back to my mom and told her, Mommy, I don't want to touch dairy anymore in my life. It was crystal clear to me that dairy created the hearing problem. Dairy was a main ingredient in the community menu. I had to find alternatives. And I also had to learn how to say no. No to the birthday cakes everyone ate from because there were dairy. There was no almond milk or soy milk back then. I had to say no to the candies all the kids got. And I consistently had to look for alternatives, and sometimes I had none, but I kept saying no. And I also learned that I'm the only person who is responsible to what they put in their mouth. So I can check, and I can ask, and I can say no. And looking back, I realized that this is how I learned to say no. This is how I practiced the muscle of saying no to things that I actually want, to things that everyone else enjoyed from, but I had to say no to them because I knew how it's gonna infect or influence my body. I practiced the muscle from a place of I need to choose what's good for me. I need to choose what's good for my body regardless of what everyone else are saying. Thank you for listening to my story. Let me know in the comments what helped you to learn how to say no. I'm looking forward to read that, and I'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe and be well.